Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you brought some snacks because today's video is quite a long boy, so sit back and relax because we're gonna be here for a while. Today I am building twin houses in Willow Creek and I asked on Twitter how I should post this build. So my original plan was to do 3 videos. One where I do the shell and the exterior of both houses. Then the second video would be furnishing the first house. And the second video obviously would be furnishing the second house. But then I was thinking, well, maybe I could combine it all into one long video. And so I tried it in my editing software and the unedited footage was about, unedited and sped up, I mean, it was about 53 minutes long, which is longer than my usual video, so I wasn't sure if that's the way to go. So I thought about maybe splitting it up, maybe doing shell in one video and the interior of both houses in a second video. And in the end I decided to let my Twitter followers decide, and they said to post just one long video. So all of you who voted for that, I hope you will actually watch all 50 minutes of it. No, actually this is like 48 minutes or something. It's a little under 50 minutes, yeah. Also, this is not a residential rental yet, but of course, if you download this house, you can and you probably should make it a residential rental, sorry. But at the point of recording this video and at the point of recording this voiceover, I don't have the foreigns pack yet. I think I will be buying it later today. I'm giving up on giveaways. I didn't win a single one. I think I will have to buy the pack. So I'm gonna do that later today. And yeah, all my builds from now on, if they are supposed to be residential rentals, they will actually have, you know, the units split up the way they are supposed to be split up. As for these 2 townhouses, I was kind of going for a opposite vibe, opposite neighbors vibe. Not really on the outside. On the outside, you can't really tell much. Like, one house is like teal and white. Is it teal? I think it's teal. Teal and white. And the other one is like brown and white, I believe. Oh my god, I cannot remember. Well, on the outside you can't really tell the neighbors are total opposites, but when you walk inside, one of the houses is very colorful. It has like this blue, yellow, pink, mostly pink, mostly blue and yellow, but also some pink and purple thrown into there. Yeah, that's the color scheme of the first house, and it feels kind of really cozy, and the family has a lot of fun, and I think they are very fun people. And then you walk into the second townhouse and it's all black and white and serious and somewhat modern-ish, and even the kids' bedrooms, they are like dark and sort of luxurious and modern. Well, I'm not sure if luxurious is the word I'm looking for, but yeah, very different vibe. And also, what I was thinking, maybe the adults living in these 2 houses, maybe they hate each other. Maybe they hate each other's family. But the kids are kind of okay with each other. And I mean, I can see why. Like, in one household, they have this big swimming pool, which I'm now realizing I forgot to do anything with. I just placed a block of water there and I didn't even put the ladder there. Oh well. So yeah, one family has this big swimming pool, and then this other family, those kids have swings and monkey bars in the backyard. So, you know, I feel like the kids would play with each other, and maybe sometimes they would want to be in the swimming pool. Sometimes they would want to play on this little playground and these other kids have. And like, really, the kids don't really see anything weird with the other family, but the adults, I feel like, you know, the fun-loving ones would, from the blue house, they would be like, oh, our neighbors are so stuck up and serious and they're such snobs and they think they are better than us. And then these like serious parents from the black and white house, they would be like, oh, our neighbors, they are so careless, and they don't really care about anything, and their house is a cluttered mess. Well, it's not really a cluttered mess, but we can pretend it is. On the topic of clutter, I think there is something I need to address, but maybe we'll get to that later. We have a lot of time. So yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I was going for. Also, I don't know what it, well, I know what it is, but I was also thinking that maybe even though these adults claim that they hate the other family, I somehow feel like maybe there might be some affair going on, like enemies to lovers kind of vibe, but you're also cheating on your wife or your husband. I don't know why I'm doing that, but whenever there's some rivalry, I'm like, enemies to lovers? Maybe. I don't know, I just really love that trope. And I mean, when it's done right. Sometimes, well, very often it's not. But when enemies to lovers are done right, it is just chef's kiss. I like to imagine that maybe like the wives will be like, yeah, honey, yeah, the other parents, the other married couple, they suck. They're so awful. And then secretly these two wives are meeting up somewhere on some neutral ground, and they actually are in love with one another. I don't know. Why do I need to make everything gay and enemies to lovers? Why? But yeah, just throwing out some ideas. If you download this house, and maybe if you will be creating new families for it, maybe these are some storylines you could go for. You don't have to make it gay. I mean, you could, and maybe you should, but you don't have to make it enemies to lovers. Maybe they will just, yeah, maybe these families just actually just hate each other, and truly there's nothing but hate, and there's, yeah. My mind went elsewhere. Maybe we should move forward from this. So what else could we talk about in this video? Right, I mentioned the clutter thing. If you're on Sims Twitter, you have probably seen some discourse this week. Basically, it was about playlisting builds you put on the gallery, and about the fact that a lot of players don't playtest their builds, and when they don't playtest it, they don't even put it in the description that it wasn't playtested, and then you download it assuming the build will be playable, and no, it was just made for looks, and it's very frustrating. It was a whole thing. I think both sides had some good arguments, but overall the whole thing was blown out of proportion. However, I've been thinking about it basically since the discourse happened, and I think I should mention that I don't really playtest my builds. I do bare minimum playtesting. When I'm building and I feel like maybe two pieces of furniture are too near and maybe the sim won't be able to get there, I stop building and I send my sim there, and if he can sit there, then good, and I don't have to worry about it. If he cannot sit there, I try to think of another way to do the thing that I want to do. So when I'm done with a build, I don't really go and try every possible route in the build. I don't really do that, but when I'm building and I notice something that I'm not sure about, I try to always test it. And I might forget about some things, or maybe some things will seem fine to me and they are not. Or in another case, maybe I will know that the thing that I did is not playable and it will not be functional, but I decided that it's okay. For example, if I put 5 different bookshelves in the house, as long as one is still playable, as long as Sims can grab books from one of them, I will be like, okay, so the other 4, they don't have to be playable. Usually, I feel like most of them still will be, but I think it would be a huge exaggeration if you downloaded my build and one bookshelf was not functional, and if you would then go and say, this build is broken and it's not playable, it's not functional, I can't play with this. You know, that's kind of just like, because I felt like some people on Twitter were like, you find one rooted issue in the build you downloaded from the gallery and you instantly write it off as unplayable. when it's just one object that you had an issue with. I'm not sure if I'm making sense. All I'm trying to say is I try to make sure my builds are mostly playable. And if there is something that isn't, it was either a mistake or I didn't find it important to make it functional. But also, when it comes to important stuff such as bathroom equipment or kitchen equipment, I will try to make sure all those are always functional. It's always the things that will not be functional, they are probably things that your sim can live without. So yeah, just thought that I would address it, even though I feel like I'm not really the kind of builder that the discourse was about. I think all the hate went mostly at the people who make really aesthetically pretty houses, and I feel like my houses are very gameplay friendly, and I always try to think of a gameplay. Even if I want to make an aesthetically pretty house, I will try to put gameplay first, if that makes sense. And also, I don't really build like those big, majestic, aesthetic builds because I don't have the patience for it. But still, since I build a lot, I thought that I would address it. I'm trying to think if there were some other Sims related things or building related things that I wanted to mention in this video. And I don't really think so. So I guess now we could head into the just, random ramblings segment of this video. I will not be talking for all the 15 minutes, but I want to stick around for a little bit longer. So I hope everyone is doing well. I hope your holiday preparations are going well. However you celebrate the holiday, whatever holiday you celebrate, I hope that your celebrations I hope that your preparations are going well and everything is going smoothly and you are just having a great time. Or if your holiday is already happening, or if it already passed, I hope that it was nice. I think I already have all my Christmas presents that I wanted to get for my people. I only need to wrap them in the fancy paper, and I really don't want to do that. I always leave that for the afternoon of the 23rd December, and every time I'm like, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that. And it, like, half the afternoon is just me going, I don't want to do that. And then I'm like, fine, I guess I will have to do it. So then I close myself in my bedroom and I finally wrap the presents, and then it turns out it wasn't that bad, but I always hate doing that. I still have to go and get a birthday present for my best friend because it's her birthday today when I'm recording this voiceover. And I somehow I didn't have time to go out and buy her something because I've actually been working. I was working for 2 days last week and I was working for 2 days this week. And I don't want to jinx anything, but chances are high. That's all I'm gonna say. And yeah, I really liked it. I especially liked this second work that I tried, which is interesting because it's not like anything I've done before. It's not what I studied for, but yeah, I think I did pretty well. And I really enjoyed it. Well, I think enjoyed it is a strong word because it wasn't really something enjoyable, but I think it's something I can see myself doing for, let's say, maybe the next year or so, and I will keep looking for something that would be more like my dream job, let's say. I'm still hoping that one day I will return to the library and I will be a librarian again, but I'm not really counting on it. It's so hard to get a job in a library. I could tell you more about that. I could definitely complain a lot more, but I don't really want to get bitter on this video because I think it would ruin it a little bit. I'm really proud of how this build turned out. I love both the houses inside and out. I think the shapes are pretty basic, but since they're two houses right next to each other, it makes it look okay. Like sometimes I feel like if I only took one of these houses and bulldozed the other one, I feel like it could look a bit weird just, standing alone in a big lot. But since there are two of them, it makes it look better and a bit more interesting. Am I making sense? I don't think I'm making sense, but what else is new? So yeah. Back to the simming stuff, I guess. I started talking about The Sims, so let's talk about The Sims for a little bit before I finally end this voiceover. So yeah, I will be buying for rent probably later today. I'm really excited. Every day I was like, screw it, I'm buying this pack today. And then I was like, well, but there are probably still some giveaways running. What if I buy it and then a voiceover, what am I talking about? And then a giveaway that I entered and already forgot about. Then it ends and I win it, and what will I then do with the code? And well, I figured that maybe I could give the code to my sibling who also really wants this pack. But yeah, I was like, but if I don't wait, what if I win? And then like, what will I do? But I think that maybe enough time has passed, and I think all the giveaways that I entered are over now, so I will just buy it myself. And if there is a giveaway I forgot about and I happen to win it, like I was worried that I would, well, I have another gift for my sibling. I already sort of mentioned it to them as well. I was like, so I entered like a million giveaways on Twitter, but I'm not counting on winning. But if I do win and I have already bought the pack for myself, I've got a Christmas present for you. So you better don't buy the pack yourself before Christmas. But I already told them that I think I will not win anything at all. Actually, at first I was thinking, oh my god, what if I win 2 times? Because I have entered so many giveaways. What if some miracle happens and I win 2 times? What will I do with the code? And then I realized that's not realistic, and the chances of winning 1 code, let alone 2 codes, are small. And yeah, so at first I was like, if I win 2 codes, I will give 1 to my sibling. If I win 1 code, I will keep it for myself. If I will give up on the giveaways and then after that I will happen to win a code, well, then I have bought a pack for myself with my own money, and the second code will go to my sibling. But I feel like I will just have to buy the pack myself, and I will not have the code for my sibling. But that is fine, because they are already getting a different pack from me, and they also really, really want this one. And yeah, not gonna lie, I feel like from my grandparents we will get some Christmas money, so I can just say that I bought for rent early with that Christmas money, and then they can also buy it with their Christmas money. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling so bad. But yeah, oh my god. I have never wanted a pack more. Maybe Seasons. Maybe I remember when Seasons came out, or when they announced Seasons, I was just over the moon, so happy. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I remember the week before Seasons were released, I was on a trip in nature. No internet, no nothing. We were sleeping in tents. We were going down the river basically on little boats. It's a whole thing. And this whole time, I mean, I was having fun, doing all the things with my classmates and stuff, but all this time when I wasn't thinking about what we were doing, or admiring the nature and having fun, every time I was alone or when I was falling asleep in the tent, I was like, oh my god, Seasons are coming soon, Seasons are coming on Friday. Friday? Aren't packs coming on Thursday? I'm fairly sure it was a Friday though. Did they change that? Because I feel like nowadays expansion packs or any packs come out on Thursday. But I could swear Seasons came out on Friday. Huh. Well, my point is, when Seasons was coming out, I spent the whole week thinking about it. Like, I was out there in the nature, no internet, no signal, no anything. Well, actually, no, that's not true. We had signal, but I was out there in nature and dirty, and I couldn't even get a proper shower. And in my head, I was just like seasons. And I feel very similar about For Rent, because this past week I've just been like For Rent. Oh, and of course I was thinking about the work that I was doing too. But when I was not thinking about that, I was thinking about For Rent, and oh my god, I think I will end this voiceover and I will go buy the pack. I thought I would wait until the evening, but I don't think I'm strong enough to do that. So yeah, once again, I hope everyone is having a good time. I hope everyone's holiday preparations are going smoothly, or if your holiday has already passed, I really could have looked it up. I know there are multiple holidays happening in December, and I don't remember when exactly they are starting, when they are ending, and stuff like that. If your holidays has already passed, I hope you had a great time. If your holidays has not happened yet, I hope you will have a great time. And yeah, Christmas next week. Crazy. And also my 24th birthday next Friday. I'm entering my mid-20s. That's insane. Like, I genuinely still, I know I've talked about this before and it sounds maybe a bit weird and like, I don't know, but genuinely I feel like I'm still 19. Like, I've been 19 for the past 5 years. I don't understand how I'm turning 24 next week, but I'm going to go now before I enter another episode of Rambling. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like these houses. They will be available for download in the usual spaces, so you can already download it on Patreon. It will go up on my Tumblr in a little bit, and there will be a sim file share link. And as soon as I remember, I will put it up for download on the Sims 4 gallery too. So if you like this house, you can download it. If you like the storyline that I kind of talked about and want to do it, feel free to do it. Or maybe you can make some Sims who actually love their neighbor, you know. It's Christmas. Maybe we should... Why did I want to say maybe we should make love, not hate? Make love has a very different meaning, but it's not a meaning that I meant. Do whatever with this house, basically, and I hope you will have fun. And yeah, I will see you all next time. I'm gonna go. I'm being an embarrassment again. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, everyone.